Welcome, Winnemucca, to week number 16. I can't believe we're winding down. And my compadres here, well, they're kind of trashing me because, well, I had a really bad week last week. Terry, give it to us.
I've had 2 or 3 of those this year. I had a 2. You only got a 3. 3 is better than 2.
Yeah.
So I got a 6, breaking 500 barely. Dave got a 3, and Gary got a 3. So it was not very good. And as far as best bets, I had the Seahawks. You had the Texans. Dave had the Texans, sorry. And Gary had, where did we mark your best?
I thought I had the Seahawks.
You had the Packers.
Oh, I had the Packers. That's it.
So all 3 best bets were at 1. Although our score on the contest not so good. So
well, you know what? Now here's the thing, folks. These next 2 weeks are so important because last year it came down to the last week and the last game and a tiebreaker for the first 4 spots. And right now, we're looking at the exact same thing again. So pick wisely. Listen to our show. We're going to give you some good advice.
Make sure you circle every game.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get caught up on a game and just never circle it.
And put
the total points down because, Dave, we've had 4 times this year we've had to it was done by the points, remember?
Yes.
So, unbelievable. So now we're going to cover the first 3 college games here, and they're all bowl games. So, Terry, get us started off here.
Okay, so we got SMU going to Florida Atlantic. Both teams have 10 wins on the season. SMU is 10-2. Florida Atlantic is 10-3. Let me turn off our background music.
Well, we have background music here. Well, folks,
I thought I died there for a second.
It sounded great. In case you can't tell, our banquet room, we're all ready for the Christmas holiday stuff.
You might want to change that.
So it's great.
For the housekeeping party.
But anyways, we have SMU and Florida Atlantic.
I think it's a tough game here. So SMU's a 3-point favorite in Boca Raton. Florida Atlantic has been had a good season. They've been a team that's covered a lot of their games. I think it's a tough one to go.
Well,
let's see what you guys
So here's the thing.
I know the coach.
Dave and I talked earlier. Lane Kiffin has left Florida Atlantic to coach Ole Miss. Great move for him. Their defensive coordinator, let me see here if I got his name. I don't. But he is now the interim head coach. Now, the good thing is the defense is important in this game because they were like number 3 in the conference as far as scoring defense. And the Boca Raton Bowl is actually played on Florida Atlantic's home field. So Florida Atlantic, believe it or not, is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 bowl games. They're 4-1 against the spreads with teams with a winning record, which SMU does, and SMU is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. Now their quarterback got dinged up a little bit in the championship game in the 4th quarter, Shane Buechele. So for that reason, folks, I'm going. This is not normally what I do, but I'm going for Florida Atlantic. I normally don't do this. When they make coaching changes, I get worried about this, but I'm going to go with the team.
I like Florida Atlantic to start here, so I'm taking Florida Atlantic as well.
I'll tell you something. Florida Atlantic has a good offense. So does SMU, but I would worry about the coach if it was like to start the season off or in the middle of the season. But for this last game, he already has his offensive coordinator established. They already have their quarterback down. I mean, I'm sure it's. I'll take Florida Atlantic. I mean, Kiffin ain't going to make that much difference for one game. I don't think so.
But he does call the plays a lot.
I'm just saying, one game, I don't think it would matter that much.
Okay. All right, good.
Emotion should be too high. It's already a big bowl game.
All right.
Next game, we got 8-5 Central Michigan going to a 9-3 San Diego State. San Diego State is the 3.5-point favorite. So again, we've got 3.5 on all 3 of these games, and it's just enough to make you. I haven't done well on the 3.5 spread.
I know, neither have I actually. I've lost a lot by the hook.
So what do you got?
Well, here's what we got. Okay, San Diego State is 5-2 against the spread as a favorite this year. Great if you are an Aztec fan. Now, Central Michigan's coach, in case you didn't know, is Jim McElwain, who used to be the former Colorado State Rams head coach for years. So he's very familiar with Rocky Long. He's very familiar with the Mountain West Conference all along. And just think, before McElwain got there this year, this Chippewa team was 1-11. He took the same group of guys. He went 8-5 this year. Central Michigan is 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games. I'm going with Central Michigan in this game.
I'm going to take San Diego State just because I can't take the same side you did 2 games in a row.
How about that for some objectivity?
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
I'll tell you what, I'll bet you Central Michigan doesn't run into a defense like this. They haven't this season. I'm taking San Diego State. They have a really, really, really good defense.
All right.
Okay, and our last bowl game is the Huskies are going to the Las Vegas Bowl to face Boise State. Boise State is 12-1 on the season, but yet they're a 3.5-point underdog here. I'm going to take Boise State because I hate Washington, so it doesn't even matter. But I still think it's a good bet.
I tell you, folks, Terry's last 2 picks really thought it well out. I can't take this one because you don't want to take 2 in a row with me. This one because he's a Coug fan.
7-5 Huskies aren't that good. 12-1 Boise State's kind of getting.
Now let me help you out here, Terry. Number 1, Boise State is 0-4 in the last 4 meetings against the Huskies, and they've played quite a bit. Now, if you are a Bronco fan, they are 7-0 against the spread as an underdog. But here's the key, folks. Chris Peterson was the coach of Boise State. This is his last game ever as a Husky coach. He's retiring. Okay, the Huskies are 4-1 as favorites at a neutral site, and they're 5-2 against the spread against the Mountain West. The bad thing is they're 1-4 in their last 5 bowl games. But as much as I hate the Pac-12, I'm taking the Huskies.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Huskies, too. I'm not that big on Boise State. I think Washington has a good team, and they should send him off with a little flair here, as much as Terry hates to see him go.
I know
I
it.
don't hate to see him go.
No. Terry's glad to see him go. He's hoping they get a stinker of a coach. So, all right, folks, that's going to do it for segment number 1. When we come back for segment number 2, Terry, and myself, we're going to cover the first 4 pro games. Welcome back, folks, to segment number 2 here. And, Terry, start us off here. We got a couple of
So there's a lot of good
strange
games
teams here.
This game, we get the Steelers going to the New York Jets. Jets are done on the season, but the Steelers are still well alive.
Yep.
They're the 3.5-point favorite. I like the Steelers in this one. They need to win, and they will pull off a win here.
I agree 110% with Terry. The Steelers and the Titans are fighting for that last wild card spot. The Steelers are 4-1 against the spread as the favorite in this game. The home team is 4-1 against the spread, but the Jets are 0-5-1 against the spread in December. I do not like the Jets this year. I'm going with the Duck. Anybody named Duck is all right with me. I'm taking the Steelers.
Personally, I hate people named Duck. Second,
I'm not doing very well today.
Why he's staying in there? Mason Crosby was doing okay. He fell out a good grade. He did something. But 3.5, so I'm taking the Jets here. I mean, Adam Gase should be ran out of town. He should be fired. But we'll see. That 3.5 is an underdog number to me. So I'm going to take the 3.5.
All right, that's fair.
So I said we had some good games this week. This next one's not one of them. We got the Giants going to the Redskins. Both teams 3-11. Redskins are getting 2.5 for being the home team. This is a coin toss for me. Eli Manning looked good last week.
He looked really
Possibly
good.
His last home game as a New York Giant. I don't know what he does on the road.
Well, the Redskins are 1-5 against the spread as a favorite this year, and that doesn't bode well for them. They're 2-5 against the spread at home. The Giants are 4-3 against the spread on the road, and they're 10-2 against the spread as a road dog. I'm taking Eli Manning and the Giants on the road. I hope he starts.
Yeah. He didn't get hurt last week, but I'm taking the Giants as well. It's a coin toss, but my coin landed on the Giants.
I'll tell you, being an NFC East fan, I think the Redskins are a better team. I'm taking the Skins.
They've got my Ohio State quarterback. That guy couldn't scramble out of quicksand. This guy's so bad.
Well, he's a passing quarterback. He's a big dude. He ain't that.
Yeah, but he hasn't hardly completed anything over 55% on the year so far. So
Against the Giants secondary, you might get
yeah,
caught.
he might look like an all-pro like Breeze.
Okay, next game, talking about the good games. We got the Saints going to the Titans. Both are, the Saints are definitely in the playoffs, but they're fighting for that number 1 or 2 seed. Titans 8-6 are, as you mentioned before, looking for that wild card spot in the AFC. The Saints are a 1.5-point favorite on the road at the Titans.
The Titans, they're 2-5 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. That doesn't bode well if you're a Tennessee fan. But if you are a Tennessee fan, they're 6-2 against the spread as a home dog, which they are. Now, if you're a Saints fan, they're 13-5 against the spread, following against the spread win, and they just had that on Monday night. Huge win. But the bad side is they're 1-4 against the spread in December, probably because they usually rest their starters in December because they're so far ahead. But for the same reason I took the Steelers, I'm taking the Titans. They're fighting for that last wild card spot. So I'm taking Tennessee.
I was leaning that way until you took them. I'm taking the Saints.
Jeez,
Remembering
Terry.
Monday night here. Drew
Did I do something to you?
Drew Brees not sitting down. No, I'm so far behind you guys. I picked up 3 games on you last week. I think I'm still 10 down. So I just can't be on the same side.
Okay.
I don't have any chance of coming close. So, Dave?
Okay, I'll tell you, when I watch Drew Brees on Monday night, not only do I lose my $50, but I get to see him hug and kiss his wife for the 10,000th time. God, I can't stand him. Or her. I'll take the Titans.
Oh, my God, I love
Some
it.
great reasoning here. Next game, can make it real quick. Cardinals are going to the Seahawks. Seahawks, I don't like the 9.5-point spread, but I never go against them, so I'm taking the Seahawks.
All right. Well, let me tell you why you shouldn't take the Seahawks. First of all, they're 2-4 against the spread at home this year. And the Cardinals, as bad as they are, they're 4-1 against the spread on the road this year, and they're 4-1 against the spread at Seattle. For that reason, I'm taking the pathetic Arizona Cardinals.
We've lost to them late in the season more than once. I mean, it's a team that scares me. I'm just not going to put my initial on them.
They don't scare me that much. Seahawks are number 1 seed as of right now. You should be shining right now.
This
You get that number 1 seed, you'll probably go to the Super Bowl. I like the Seahawks here. The Cardinals ain't going to get in their way of this.
Yeah, no, Pete.
There's 2 games
Carroll's
left.
gotta
This
have a
is
good
one they
game
got to
plan
stop.
and not. They let go last week. They actually covered in the contest. They didn't cover on the board.
No.
The spread went up.
They
gave up 2 touchdowns in a minute and a half just because they totally
They didn't
lost
care.
focus. Yeah, I don't know. They made that game a lot closer
Than it needed to be, right?
Okay, so that's those 4.
Okay, so that's going to end it, folks, for segment number 2. When we come back, Dave, Terry, and myself are going to cover the last 3 and very important pro games, and then we're going to give you our best picks of the week. Welcome back, folks, to segment number 3. And, Terry, we got a couple of interesting games here.
So we got the Ravens going to the Browns. With 2 games to go, nobody's got anything locked up. There's no guaranteed number 1. We've got the Ravens have clinched their division, but they don't have the number 1.
No, they
seed
do
or
not.
Field advantage, so they are in a need to win at least one more game here. Browns at 6-8, I believe they're out.
They're way out.
I mean, 6-8, they could get.
There's
8,
only
depending
the
on-
Steelers and Titans are the only 2 fighting for that last spot.
Well, but they're both, the Steelers at 8-6,
And
the Titans
8 and
theoretically,
6.
if they both went to 8-8, and they
If
took
anything,
8-8,
you'd want
I
to
don't
take the
know.
Browns maybe because the coach wants to stick around. That's the only reason here.
The 10.5 on the road.
Well,
is a
that's
tough
not
number.
the only reason, Dave.
Well,
No,
the Browns are out.
but they're 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 home games. And they getting 10.5, I'm liking that. Now, if you're a Ravens fan, well, let me
Didn't
tell
they
you.
beat the Ravens the first time they played?
No, but the Ravens are 4-0 against the spread on their last 4 road games. The Ravens are good, 10.5, but I'm going to take the Brownies, not to win the game, but just to cover the spread.
Okay, I've already taken the Ravens. I know any team from Ohio gets Gary's vote.
I'm going to take the Ravens. They're going to the Super Bowl in the AFC, whether anyone likes it or not. They're going to the Super Bowl.
I don't like
They
it.
need this game to secure a home field.
They're, like I
advantage.
said, these good teams, Ravens, Seattle, they're not going to trip up with 2 weeks left. This is momentum now.
That's true.
Next game, we've got the Raiders going to the Chargers. Interesting game. Doesn't mean anything in the playoff picture. I think they're both out. 6-8 Raiders going to the 5-9 Chargers. Chargers are a 5.5-point favorite at home. That seems a little high, but based on how the Raiders have played the last couple weeks, it's not.
I hate both of these teams. Whether I bet on them or against them, I never win. Dave, I'm still mad at you for putting this game on the
There's
ticket.
not a lot to.
I know. I'm just having fun. The Chargers are 0-5-1 against the spread as a home favorite. The Raiders are 1-5 against the spread versus the Chargers, and they're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games. Both teams are PU, but I'm going to take the Raiders for the 5th time in a row and see if we can't cover one.
I'd already taken the Chargers, not because you just picked the Raiders, but I was down there.
What would make us
It
think that?
works out. So
I'm going to take the Raiders, and I'll tell you why. Well, they stink. That's first. They stink, and their coach stinks. Gruden should have stayed on Monday Night Football where he drove me nuts. But the Chargers is 5.5 favorite over anybody. Forget about it. Take the Raiders in the points. They're going to money line them.
Ooh.
So next game's an interesting game.
Oh, I
is
love
for
this game.
The division. We've got the Cowboys 7-7 going to the Eagles 7-7. Cowboys somehow are the 2.5-point favorite. With the records, I guess I don't really get that. Although the Cowboys beat them in the earlier matchup.
Yeah, they gave him a pretty good shillelagh the first time.
So you want to go first on this one?
I'll tell you why they're a 2.5-point favorite. It's because of the fact the Eagles have a lot of players out on the offensive side of the ball. The wide receivers are out. Their star running back, he's been up in the air for weeks now, Jordan Howard, but they've been getting by without these guys. They've been doing okay these last 2 weeks. They won 2 in a row to stay here, and this game is at home. So I'll just pass it back, and I'll give you that.
All right, here. Let me give you guys some stats here. The road team is 11-5 against the spread in this series. The Cowboys are 6-1 against the spread in Philly. They're 4-2 against the spread on the road. The Eagles are 3-4 against the spread at home, and they're 7-3 against the spread after a straight-up win, which they had a straight-up win last week, which they shouldn't have covered. That killed me in the contest. So I'm taking the Cowboys. I hate both teams. I'm going for the Cowboys.
Boy, I'm
All
so
right.
confident here.
Terry's having a tough time.
I'll
He
tell
doesn't
you
want to go with the Eagles.
Here's the thing. If every sports writer in America that I've read so far or listened to so far has taken Dallas. Okay, if there's such a sure thing, if Dallas is such a sure thing, why is his spread only 2.5 points? Right? Why is it only 2.5? I'll tell you what, either the Eagles win the game or they cover the 2.5 somehow. It'll be
Well, Dave-
21-20 or something like that. But they're going to be in this game. Dallas, either they're going to win the game or they're going to be in the game. I'm taking the Eagles.
Dave, look at it this way. The home team's usually a 3-point favorite. It's a 5.5 point
Right, I understand.
swing
I
here.
said because of the injuries.
Yeah. So that's why the Cowboys are the
And
favorite.
forget what the Eagles do all year. It's at the end is when they always come on strong. I like
And
the
again,
Eagles
this
here.
is for the division.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, this is to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the only way to get into the playoffs from that division is to win the division.
All right, so who are we doing with the best bet, Tara?
I'm going to take the Eagles as well on this last game, so me and Dave are on that one. Best bets, on this. Boy, I'd like to take Boise State, but they're really not the best bet in my mind. I think the Saints, after the way they played here this last week, they're gonna
So
make
Terry's
sure that
taking
they
that.
stay alive for that number 1 seed.
All right.
The Titans have not overly impressed, although they've done better since the quarterback change.
All right. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb on this one, and I'm going to take Florida Atlantic as my best bet of the week.
And I don't see this as being a big stretch. I'm going to go with the Seahawks over the Cardinals. Number 1 seeds aren't going to lose this game, I'm telling you. It's not even going to be a close game. It's in Seattle. I love Seattle minus the 9.5 here. Can't
All right.
trip up now.
I like that one.
All right, folks, we got a great Monday night game coming up. We have the Giants. No, not the Giants. The
and
Packers.
And this has huge playoff.
Yeah, the
implications.
Packers and the Vikings. Big game. Come on out. This is the last
Big game.
Monday night game of the season. So come on out and enjoy us. Have a lot of fun. For Dave, Terry, and myself. Oh, wait a minute. Before we go, Terry won't be here next week. So it'll be me and Davey doing this show next week.
I'm
So,
still going to phone in my pick.
but he's gonna give us his picks as soon as I get the sheets all printed out and text it to him. He's gonna give us his picks. So we'll have his picks. So for Dave, Terry, myself, I'm Gary. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, so I got to run.